Ready, Amy? All right. All right. So I want to, it's recording. Thank you, Kelly. Uh, this is the first time that Amy's ever been, I mean, on my team call, which, she's been a coach for, I don't think you told me how long you've been a coach. If you're elite 7 times, you're probably just at 8. At 8, yeah, 8 years. And I've been a coach for 10 years. It's the very first time she's been on my team call. And tomorrow will be the first time I'm ever on hers. And you guys probably don't think we're that close, but we talk all the time. All the time. And we're actually really good friends. And we talk above and beyond Beachbody. And we were having a conversation because we are doing a group that some of you guys are in, a conversation about just coming in and just sharing our best tips and what's helped us be successful with our teams. And so I did ask Amy to come in and talk to you mostly about, because you guys are so fantastic about helping people with their health and fitness goals. But if there's one area that we could work on, it is talking more about the business side of what we do. And I know sometimes it's a little bit scary for you and uncomfortable for you. And so Amy's going to share with you just how to do that. She's been so crazy consistent in this business. She's a 7-time elite coach. Crazy. This will be her 6th year of being a top 10 coach. Mind blowing. She's in the Millionaires Club. Her and I actually served on CAB for my newer coaches. CAB stands for Coach Advisory Board, which they only have 8 coaches every single year that represent the whole network. So it's quite the honor to be asked to be in CAB. And her and I sat there many a times talking about all the best decisions and obstacles that we come across as being a coach to help corporate create the best network that we can. She's also an executive leader, and I haven't looked recently, but you guys, if you're not real familiar with the leadership ladder with Beachbody, an executive leader is very rare air. I think the most that I've ever seen are 44, and sometimes I've seen it as low as 23 people in the whole company that own that title of being an executive leader. So it goes to show that she's not only really good at being an entrepreneur, but she's an incredible leader as well. So I'm going to turn that over to her. But before I do, I want you guys to know that she's amazing. And I have really, really enjoyed her journey. She's one of those people that will share anything with you. If you guys have ever been on the Champions page or on the Roundtable, which is our leadership page, she shares openly and freely, and she really wants everybody to be successful at this. So I really want you to take notes and soak in that she's going to share with you some really valuable stuff. I trust in that. And I really appreciate you being here, Amy. And thank you so much for taking the time to, and tell Kevin I said hello and thank you for sharing you tonight.
I will. Thank you so much for that intro. And I'm so pumped to talk to you guys. Melissa was like, I always have this like visual of Melissa. I remember I was in Vegas, and the first time like I saw her in real life, I was like on one of those like moving like sidewalks, and I was going this way and she was coming the opposite way, and I was a new coach, and I was like, that's Melissa McAllister. Oh, and I like freaked out because she just looked like, have you guys ever seen a top coach that you've been following in real life and they just kind of look like they're like glowing? That's what I thought when I saw Melissa. I was like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. And I was like super fangirl for a long time. And so when we were on CAB together, I was like, yay, I get to be on CAB with Melissa. So it was really, really exciting for me to get to know her. And now we've been on so many top 10 trips together. I always try to sit with her and Mick, and they're just awesome and fun and really easy to get along with. And you guys have a great leader. You're so lucky to have Melissa and Mick and have this team. So Melissa and I were talking about our teams, and every team, has their thing. Some teams are really great at some things, and some teams are really great at other things. There's going to be those teams that have like massive amounts of 5-star diamonds and 15-star diamonds, and there's some teams that have multiple top 10 coaches, and there's some teams that, just have a lot of 6-figure earners, and you don't really hear too much recognition from them. And And the thing is that every team has their individual leaders that rise up and then separate from their uplines. And so it's like, and then they are better at things than other people are. Like I have a coach in my downline who was on the top 10 last year with me. And she is a 15-star diamond, and she's the only 15-star diamond in my entire organization. And I'm not even a 15-star diamond. And it's just, you know, she'll probably have massive amounts of 15-star diamonds under her because that's what they do on her team, and they're very fast growing, and that's just not my story. My coaches are very slow going, and we're kind of slow and steady wins the race, and that's just how we are, and I've built a very sustainable business that way. And it's okay to own the way your business is and the way you are and the way your team is. But at the same time, it's really important to, while you're leveraging your strengths, understand where you need to improve your weaknesses. And I know John C. Maxwell says don't worry about your weaknesses at all and only focus on your strengths, but I don't completely agree with that, simply because I faced a dilemma when I was on CAB and Melissa was too, and they were talking about changing the qualifications for top 10. And I was just like, no, because I had it so on lock that it was so easy for me to hit top 10. And I hate to say that, but it was true. I had it on lock to the point where I just knew how to do it. I figured it out. And once I unlocked the code, I knew how to do it. And then they changed it. And they had this leadership development points. And leadership development was my biggest weakness. I didn't have very many. I had one elite coach and no star diamonds. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna drop out of the top 10. I was just like, that's it, it's over, I'm not gonna be top 10 anymore. But then I kind of stopped freaking out, and I was like, okay, I need to figure this out if I want to stay in the top 10. So I got to work, and I called upon other leaders on my team, and I was seeing what other leaders in the company were doing, and I started doing the same thing I did when I was a new coach. And that was just duplicating what I saw them doing and being teachable and not thinking that I had it all figured out. And what really helped me the most was asking the top 10 coach on my team, Moira, who was really great at creating leaders, what she was doing. And I teamed up with her, and I learned so much from her. And I started the year with number 1 in the company leadership development. And I think I was number 1 I don't know whose it is now, but for at least the first half of the year, I was number 1 for leadership development when I couldn't even I barely had any leadership development points ever. So that is a testament to you guys to know that if you struggle with inviting to the coaching opportunity, or if you struggle with building a team, or if you struggle with anything that has to do with leadership development or being a leader, that was totally my Achilles heel this entire journey as a Beachbody coach. My upline is Barbie Decker, and for a long time she was Miss Leadership, and she was always asked to speak about leadership, and I was in her downline, so of course it was kind of I'll never be a PhD. I'll never be that smart. I'll never be that poised. I'm a college dropout, sober alcoholic. It's just I'll never be that. So I just always hated the word leadership because I'm a natural born leader that had no leadership skills. So that translates into being bossy and having no communication skills, and trying to be controlling of people, and it didn't work with this business. It was I had to have challengers blocking me and coaches revolting against me, and it was just I couldn't figure it out. I just wanted everybody to be successful. Why do I suck so bad at this? So of course I had to do a lot of work around it, and I did. I've done a lot of personal development, done Tony Robbins Leadership Academy. I've really, worked a lot around my leadership and how to be a better communicator, how to talk to multiple personality types, how to be, and let me tell you, being pregnant, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm 36 weeks pregnant right now. It has made me such a more compassionate leader too. And I can't wait to have kids because I know I'm going to be even more compassionate to what people have to go through to build this business, being pregnant and having kids. And I just want you guys to know that I sucked at all of this. So if you feel like you suck, that's okay. because then you know, at least you're being honest with yourself. And the first step is admitting that you have a problem, right? And if you have a problem with inviting people to the coaching opportunity, then the next step is figuring out the solution. So I'm going to ask you guys questions because I need to know things about you before I can just start giving you training. Okay, and post these in the chat box. I'm all about I want interaction with you. So my question for you, first question is, in the month of November, how many coaches have you recruited? You guys are quick with it. All right, so anywhere from 0 to 3. 4, we got a 4. Okay, so just so you guys know, in my organization, we feel that if you're recruiting any less than 4 coaches a month, you are not building. You are backsliding. 4 or more means you're building. So if you need the magic number that's going to guarantee that you are building a business, and the team is your business, you guys. Success Club is not your business. That's like a sales job. So the difference between being in sales and having to continue, getting new customers. Melissa's 27. Should I post mine too? Let me see how many I recruited. Let me post mine. I'll do mine. Okay, so the thing that I want you guys to understand is that Success Club is clocking in. That's it. Success Club is clocking in. So you're basically going to work and you're clocking in, you're getting a paycheck, right? But if you want to take it to that 6-figure earning potential, multiple 6-figure earning potential, you need to start recruiting coaches. And you have to get to the point where you're recruiting 4 or more consistently. And that means every single month, not just once or once a quarter. It needs to be a consistent effort because team building is what builds this business. And I understood that. It took me a year and a half to stop being a Success Clubber and being a business builder. I was all about recognition that first year. And, back in 2010, 12 Success Club points meant you were top 10 in the company for points. That's how far we've come with, wow, helping people. I remember I hit Success Club 14 and I was the top 20 in the company, and it's those are not the numbers that we have to hit anymore. But it was really interesting back then. That was really good. That's kind of UK numbers now. UK, it's kind of where we were back then, and you guys will eventually be where we are now. It's just going to take time and patience. So I know there's a lot of UK coaches on Melissa's team, so I want you guys to know that. Be patient. It will pay off. So, okay. So now you guys know. Now you know. If you really, truly want to build this business, now you know, you have to figure it out. You have to. You have to be willing to do things that get you out of your comfort zone and will get you those results. Okay, so my next question to you, this might take a little more thinking. So you invite somebody to the coaching opportunity, right? And they stop responding, or they say, let me think about it, or whatever. They don't say no. They just, you invite them and then all the series of things happens, right? How often do you follow up with them before you give up? Do you have a system, or do you know your follow-up system, or are you just going to guess? If you're I don't even know, that's something to look at. You need a system. If you do know, post below. And if you want to guess, go ahead and guess, because, I'm sure a guess is better than nothing. So 3 times, 6 times, 5 times, once a week, once to twice a week for a while. 3 times, 3 every month, once, no system. 4 times, once every 2 to 3 months. I follow up in 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and then I let go for a couple months. That's a system. 2 times, 5 to 6, 3 times, 3, 2, 7. Okay, so did you know it can take up to 14 follow-ups before somebody says yes or no? So 14. So if you're following up with them anytime, any less than that, you're probably not going to get a response or no. So knowing that, How many ways of following up do you have with people? I think Black Friday is a perfect follow-up example. How many times, so what's your favorite store, you guys? For me, it's like Free People in Anthropology. Like, they market to me nonstop. So how many times did you get an email in your inbox from your favorite company? How many times did you see them post about their cyber sale on their Instagram? And how many times did you get a sponsored ad from them that week of Black Friday? I don't know about you guys, but I went to Anthropology's site at least 10 times during the Black Friday week, and I didn't buy anything because of their follow-ups, because of their emails, because of their posts, because of, you know, the sponsored ads and everything. I even got like a magazine in the mail. Like, there was so much follow-up in their efforts to get me as a customer, but I already had like my list for the baby stuff and I was good. But I did look. I looked a couple times. I went through all their sales sections and everything a couple times, but I didn't buy anything. So maybe they needed to follow up with me just a little bit more. So anyway, my point is, you might be following up with them through invite, but are you following up with them through email too? Like, do you have them on a mailing list? Are you constantly reminding them in your Instagram stories and on your posts, like, hey, I'm adding to my team. Hey, I'm adding to my team. Hey, I'm adding to my team. I'm inviting to, I'm rolling for my team. There's a sneak peek. There's a sneak peek. Coaching opportunity. Da, 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 da. Are you doing these things? Give me a yes or a no. So it's the follow-up through one-on-one email plus all of the reminders on mailing lists and your social media. That's going to remind people to do this thing with you. So that's definitely something to think about. Now, if you're not doing this, why? What is your limiting belief? Do you think you're being annoying? Do you not want to bother them? Do you think it's too much? Because guess what? Anthropology doesn't care. They're not personally invested in my response to their emails. They're not emotionally hurt if I unsubscribe from their emailer. They'll find me some other way, you know? So I think the question is, do you think you're bombarding them? Do you think you're annoying them? Do you think, like, because more is going to get them to say yes or no. And that's what you're trying to get them to. You're trying to get them to the yes or the no, not always the yes. It's either or. You just need an answer so that you can move on. So what is the fear behind it? What is the problem? And you got to figure it out. And you got to start being like, no, that's not going to control my life anymore. I want results of this business. I want to help people. I want to be an elite coach. So the fear of annoying people, the fear of bugging people, the fear of people being, oh my God, she's posting again. Like, who, if they don't like you, they're going to unfollow you. And the people who like you are going to stick with you. And that's what you want. You don't want to please everybody. So the thought that you need to be posting in a way that makes everybody feel comfortable because you want everybody to like you and you want to have a lot of followers has got to stop. You have to be more direct with people and be okay with the fact that, like, I'm a Beachbody coach and I'm being direct with you. So there is, like, you know, there's that dance that you do where you're not like Beachbody, because obviously you look on my Instagram, I don't look like a Beachbody coach. You'll never see me wearing logo wear. It's just like, you'll never know. But I'm always talking about it. I'm always talking about it. I'm always showing that I'm doing something with it. My social media is all about Beachbody. Because otherwise, why would I be posting on social media? I wouldn't be on social media. So, and the only way that you can build the confidence is by doing it, you guys. You can't wait till you're confident to do it. That's not the way confidence works, okay? Confidence works by building it, like by doing the thing that is like gonna make you like cringe and not want to do it. So just remember that. You can't wait to learn how to do things until you do them. So my next question is, how often do you invite to the coaching opportunity? Post in the comments. Like, you can say every day, once a week, twice a week, once a month, every day, daily, every week, daily, once a week, not enough. How many is not enough? I want to know numbers. Once a week, twice a week, every day, twice a month, 3 times a week, not consistently every week, a couple times a week too. Okay. So for me, I have a week where I'm inviting to my sneak peek and I hit it super, super duper hard. And I will be inviting in my Instagram stories. I'll have an invite going at least every 24 hours. So when the next one expires, there's another one popping up. And that's for a complete week solid up until my next behind the scenes group. And then I also have a newsletter that goes out a week before that starts. And I also post in my existing customer pages for people to join if they want to learn the coaching opportunity. So I'm bringing in new leads. I have 23,000 subscribers on my mailer. So I'm inviting all of those people who are existing leads. And I also am inviting my existing customers that I'm working with in my wellness studio, which is my challenge group thing. So I invite everybody. And I don't do like one-on-one invites because I'm at a different level in my coaching career than you guys are. I really wanted to learn how to do attraction marketing, but I had to invite one-on-one before I did that. So my coach is cold invite. So if you're wondering, like, do you invite anybody that's never showed interest? If you were my coach, yes, you would. You would be messaging people and inviting them and sending cold invites and scripting people to join the coaching opportunity. So that's one thing that, you have to remember is that inviting people that you've never talked to before is you got to do that. Like, you have to invite people. That's the main vital behavior. So I just want you guys to have like some sort of a flow going. If you're only inviting once weekly, then you're only inviting 4 times a month, but what are you inviting them to? So that's my next question. What do you invite people to when you're inviting them? Do you invite them to like a sneak peek group, or are you getting one-on-one phone calls with them? Or do you have a coach opportunity video? No, this is for the coaching opportunity, not challenges. You guys, I was talking about coaching opportunity. So that's really funny. Guys, I was talking about the coaching opportunity. You're good at challenge groups. Melissa told me you're good at that. We got focused on the coaching opportunity. You invite, okay, so you guys do sneak peeks. You chat with each one of them. Fuck my life. Cold invites, one-on-one, upline coach, a sneak peek, Melissa sneak peeks. Great. Okay, so how many people do you usually have in your sneak peek? So if Melissa's taking the time to run a sneak peek for you guys every single month, how many people are you inviting to that sneak peek? How many people are in there? I want to know how many people you get in there every month. 1, 3 to 6. I had one person one time. 10 to 40, 10 to 15, 3 to 5, maybe 1, 2 to 10. Okay. Invite 50, 2 to 3 in. Okay. So you guys need to have each, like, seriously, you need to have no less than like 20 to 30 people each in a sneak peek every month. Especially if Melissa's taking the time to run it for you. There should be, a couple hundred people in her sneak peeks every single month. I know for my team, if they don't get a certain amount, I don't run it. I'm just like, nope, waste my time. I wish Melissa was that mean to you. I'm just like, you guys, and you know what? My team are procrastinators. So they'll literally have 25 people in there, and then in one day, like 150. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? So you guys, if she's running this group for you, it's almost like she's taking her time to do this for you. You need to honor that and get more people in there, because these groups are not like fun for us to run for you guys. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you. Like, it's work. It's something that, like, I go live in mine. I don't know what Melissa does, but like having to run these groups for you guys every single month, it's a bummer when we go in there and there's like not people in there, and it's like I don't know about Melissa, but it makes me feel like my team just doesn't care and they're not trying. And why am I trying so hard if they're not trying? So what I really want you to do is I want you to make it a point to get at least 20 to 30 people in those sneak peeks every month. And the only way for you to do that is to hit those invites super freaking hard. So if Melissa sneak peek, let's say, Melissa, what date is your next sneak peek in December? Do you have one set yet? Okay. And next week, Wednesday. Okay. So I'm looking at my calendar. Next week, Wednesday is December 5th. Can you guys believe it's almost end of the year? I really hope that you've closed December hard, especially since your team's in the running for the top 10. Your points matter more than anything next month. Like, it really matters. So if there was ever a month to change your story, December is the month. Okay, so a week from today. So perfect. So this is what you guys are going to do. From now until Wednesday, you are going to have an invite. Write this down. From now until Wednesday, this is your assignment. You're going to have an invite in your Instagram stories every 24 hours. So it's either a poll. If you want to invite, click yes or no. And then when that expires, you can drop your email. You know the little question thing you can post in your swipe up on your Instagram stories? Ask them to drop an email in there. Talk a little about your story, and then be like, drop your email in the message below. You can, if you have 10K followers or more, you can do a swipe up. And I want every 24 hours, there needs to be a call to action in your Instagram stories. Okay. Okay, so that's the first step. And every single day on your social media, you need to be reminding people about your next coaching opportunity group. Okay? Every single day. Every single day. So you're going to get good at this because you're going to get a lot of practice. On top of that, you need to be reaching out to people every single day and inviting one-on-one cold invites, no less than 20 people. That needs to be happening. So there's 3 things that are going to be in action for the next 7 days. Your stories, your posts, and in your posts, you can say things like drop your email below, drop your favorite emoji below. I'm going to show you guys examples in a minute, so don't worry. Like this photo, and I'll send you an invite. You can go live. There's so many things you can do. Every single person who views your stories, every single person who likes your photo, every single person that, even like breathes the same air as you breathe gets an invite. Okay? 7 days. You can do anything for 7 days. It's not, I want you to see if what I'm telling you to do works. You owe yourself that. Will you do it? Let me see some confirmation that you will do exactly what I ask you to do. And you will not question me, and you'll be teachable, and you'll just see what is possible. I mean, that's what this is all about, you guys. Like, well, what if I just did it? What if something actually happens? Like, that would be cool. What's the worst that could happen? Somebody tells you you're annoying? Okay, so what? I've been told worse. And not even from Beachbody. So, okay. All right, so that's all I want to ask you. So now I want to show you guys some examples to give you some ideas from some of my coaches who are really great about talking and sharing about the income opportunity. So I'm going to share the screen really quick. And first, I'm going to start off with my coach, Bree. And you can follow these people if you need, Bree hits it hard with the invites. She was Premier last year. She's Elite this year. She's been a coach for 3 years, and she's a 6-figure earner this year. She's 25. It's crazy. And she almost quit. She was really annoying in the beginning. But we work through it. And I'm saying that quote from what she said, not from what I've said. She says that in her story all the time, that she's like the worst coach. But I want to show you what she does. Whoops. Go back. Oh, really? You're going to glitch right now? Here we go. Okay.
Say good morning, my sweet little Philly beans. You're squirming.
Let me go to the coaching opportunity.
If my post spoke to you and you are ready, Philly did sharing with you.
Okay, here we go.
Excited for everyone who was. Philly did so good at his first vet appointment. He was so sweet, and everyone wanted to steal him. I said, nope, you can't have my Philly. But I'm about to sit down and go through the requests for my Facebook info session that starts tomorrow. Excited for everyone who is going to be joining us. And just to recap, in that Facebook group, I'm going to be sharing exactly, hey, Philly, what I do as an online health and fitness coach. I'm going to be sharing with you, whoa, squirmy. Sharing with you how we make money, how you can join my team, answering all of your questions. It's going to be a fun way for you to get more info and see if this is for you. Phil, okay, buddy. So all you have to do is swipe up to join the Facebook group, just request to join, and I will be going through and adding everyone. Like I said, it's just going to be a fun group. It's going to be a 3-day Facebook group, so go ahead and swipe up to learn more.
Okay, so, and she'll do that every single day. And then you couldn't see in her swipe up, but hold on, it went back to my feed. But in her swipe up, let me go back to her swipe up so you guys can see what she had in her swipe up. If you have swipe up option, if not, you can say go to the link in my bio.
Philly did.
But she has it linked to the actual group. So something that you can do if you want to, leave under the wing of Melissa and start running your own groups is you can set up your own Facebook group, and you can actually have them ask questions. I ask questions for everybody who joins my Becoming a Coach workshop, and I'll show you the questions that they have to answer. Oh, that's my team ones. Hold on. So the questions that they have to answer is, do you already have a coach account? Are you interested in joining Team Set Your Soul on Fire? Are you already paired with a coach? If yes, who? And they only get approved after I'm friend requested with them. So I have to friend request them, and if they say that they are paired with a coach, they have to jump through a lot of hoops with me in order to prove that they've talked to their coach and all this stuff, because I'm really weird about people trying to join my team when they have a coach already. I don't like that. So that is an option. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know, Melissa, if you have questions set up. If not, it's something that you guys could definitely do as a team, or you could do on your own. And that way you can just send people directly to the group and have them answer the questions first. This is my team one. And same thing. They have to answer the same questions. So these people, or if I see that they were added by one of my coaches, then I just approve, because I assume that my coach has already asked them these questions. My team knows to not to just invite people that already have coaches and stuff like that. So they can either add people, or they can send people the link to answer the questions. And this is another one of my coaches. She's a single mom. She is pregnant, and she has a coach. Son, one day might be a coach. And this is an example of one of her posts that she did today that was just very real and just sharing her reality, which is she's pregnant and she doesn't have, the partner's not in the story. And she, is able to be a stay-at-home mom because of the coaching opportunity. So she starts off with kind of sharing something that's very real in her life, how she was stressing about the baby and all this stuff. And you can read this post if you want. Her Instagram is Amber TCB. I love watching her life. It's so interesting to me. But then when she goes down, she talks about the reality. She does some gratitude towards a friend, and then she goes into the solution, which is, I may be pregnant, I may be a hot mess, it may be November, and I'm having the most success in my business ever. And she goes on to talk about, you know, her business and how it's getting more and more lucrative. And she used to be working a hair salon, and she's since quit. And she talks about how she doesn't have it all together. You don't have to have it all together. And then she posts about her last call. It's the last call to join my team as a coach. And then she has some giveaways that she's doing. And then she does the income disclaimer and all that stuff. So this is another way where it's like, I want you guys to start thinking outside the box when it comes to talking about the coaching opportunity. It doesn't necessarily have to it doesn't ever really have to do with Beachbody. It's like, has to do with like your story, and your story, her story is completely different than my story. Her reality is completely different than my reality. She's attracting her people who need an extra added income, single moms, you know, people who are struggling. Like that's her brand and her team. And so that's one example. And then she also shares in her Instagram stories a lot and does invites, but I couldn't find, there wasn't anyone in there. And this is one of my coaches, Meredith Ganal. She is a 5-time elite coach. She has been elite since the get-go. She signed up, and her first year she went elite, and she's been the top 100 elite ever since. So 5 years, she's in her early 40s, and she was a yoga teacher. And this is a really great example of her doing a post about the coaching opportunity. The view from the top is always worth what it takes to get there. And I always recommend talking about how hard this business is and the hard work it takes, because as a team, we believe that when you talk about the hard work you're putting in, you attract hard workers. And so don't be afraid to talk about the reality of the business. You know, you don't want to attract people by selling them this story of how easy it is and how fun it is all the time, because guess what? You're going to attract people who just want easy and fun. And when it comes down to actually building the business, they're going to be not into it. So today she talks about like how she went to her friend's business that opened, and how cool it is, and their friends, and She tells a little story about her and her friend and how proud she is of her friend. And how she's gotten to watch her truly grow. Her friend's not even a Beachbody coach. It's just a story about her friend who, you know, she's, you know, gotten to watch build her goals and her dreams. And it's a really sweet post. And then she goes to talk about her business. I know from owning my own business how hard work and love goes into birthing your dreams. It's not shy of admirable to see others live their passion, to work relentlessly to make them happen, and truly evolve as humans along the way. This is what I have the blessing to mentor others through as they open their online coaching business and work with me, ... To all of you out there who aren't excited to go back to work on Monday, you are in the wrong line of work. Or maybe you aren't. Like how she's in caps, just like yelling at them. But you are ready to fly and build your own business and dreams with it. There's a saying, don't go to work all day to build somebody else's dream, then not come home and work on yours. Climb that effing mountain. Next coach training kicks off December 1st. So this is where you guys would put your invite for the sneak peek next Wednesday. You would put insert, you know, December 5th, next coach training, or not next coach training, but next behind the scenes group or sneak peek group, or, you know, Snoop group or info session, whatever you call it, kicks off December 5th. And I'll be taking you through 3 days of a workshop from a, you know, self-made millionaire in the company, who will also be your mentor, blah, 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 blah. You can throw in the income disclaimer if you talk about money, which you have to if you talk about money. But if you talk about hard work and how amazing this is, and you're really, you know, painting the true picture of this, you don't have to put in the income disclaimer. And so this is my example with Meredith. And I wanted to show you guys that because it's completely different than Amber's, right? Completely different. And then there's me. And I wanted to show you this one because I actually meant to archive this and I forgot. I'm going to archive this right after I get off the call. This is actually a script that I took from Bree. I'm going to post it in the chat. And I use this script when I boost posts. This is like a straight up sales post that I boost. I have heard some of these coaches who are like in the top 25 spending anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a boost. These coaches are serious about this business. I'm not telling you to spend that much money, but I am asking you, how much do you invest in your business? Do you market yourself? Like, do you truly market yourself? Are you a network marketer? Are you owning the fact that this is a business and that and you're okay with that? Or are you trying to hide behind something? You guys, straight up, I'm running a business. I want people to know I'm running a business. I want people to know I'm a businesswoman, because I want people who also want to run a business. If I am not putting myself out there as a business owner, I will never attract people who want to own a business. You have to understand that, like, you are literally shooting yourself in the foot every single time you are not direct with people, and you are not direct about who you are and what you do. You know, Jen Sincero, all these personal development gurus that are making tons of money off of network marketers, they are not shy about the fact that they are selling you things and you buy it. So you can't be shy either, because you have a solution just like they do. Just, it's not better, in my opinion, because in my opinion, these personal development ladies are just regurgitating Tony Robbins and selling it to you. And it's like, it works and you buy it. So don't be scared, you know, because you have an opportunity for people. So this is, you know, one of mine, and I boost this. Actually, I haven't paid for any boosts or ads ever in my coaching career. But when like 3 months ago, I started doing it because I'm pregnant and I'm going to have a baby, and I want to keep my numbers up in the new year. So I'm just going to throw a bunch of money towards ads and let my assistant do the work while I'm on maternity leave. That's my plan. And it's going to work because I've been practicing for the last 3 months. I have been teaching myself how to do this. This is not something I've done to build my business to this point. This is something that I've seen these new coaches doing. And I was like, if it's working for them and they're muscling themselves up to the top 10, it should work for me for a couple of months while I'm, you know, learning how to take care of a baby, right? I'm never too old in this business to learn new tricks. So understand that, like, this is just another way of getting yourself out there. You don't have to put thousands of dollars towards these boosts, but maybe start taking a chunk of your Beachbody paycheck and reinvesting it back into your business. I personally tell my coaches that you should be reinvesting every single penny you make with Beachbody for your first year back into your business. And that means into yourself, personal development seminars, going to Summit, investing into your teams, into giveaways, back into your business, because there are no businesses that exist where you make a profit your first year except for this type of business. Like, most businesses, like, it takes years for them to make a profit. It took GoPro 10 years to get off the floor running with their business. And so, and they were just doing it in hopes that it would turn into something. And so these are just some things that I'm just telling you guys, because in the hopes that, like, you take something from what I'm teaching you and you apply it and you see what you can do. And just to understand that what gets a top coach to the top and keeps them there is not continuing to do the same things they did their first year they signed up. It's continuing to evolve and learn and be teachable. And if you are at the same place that you were when you signed up, it's because you are not willing to evolve and be teachable and do things to take you out of your comfort zone. So that's just the fact. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. I'm more than happy to take questions, or if Melissa wants to add anything or ask me any questions too. I'm all for it.
Thank you. Okay. We did have a lot of questions come through. A lot of it, I do believe they're coming from newer coaches that say, I don't have anybody to talk to. I have a small following. And all this. So do you have any bit of advice for a newer coach that doesn't feel like they have an audience yet? I mean, how do you do how do you encourage your coaches to do cold invites? Is there a script? Is there a system that they do in order to find people that aren't following them or know who they are?
My coaches are really having fun with Shalene's 531 system.
Okay.
So that's basically, and it's fun for them and it's easy, and you do get to form a bit. I have a coach who signed up 2 weeks ago. She's at Success Club 10 doing the 531. Wow. She basically, so 531 is you basically find a hashtag that is like your brand. So not Beachbody Coach. It would be 36 weeks pregnant. That's a good one. So 36 weeks pregnant would describe me and what I'm hashtagging right now. So I would go to 36 weeks pregnant, and I would go to find somebody. I'd look through all the people and I'd find somebody who looks like somebody who would like mesh with me. And I'd comment on 5 of their posts, and then I'd like 3 of their posts, and then I'd follow them. And the thing that's working for my new coach that hit Success Club 10 in her first 2 weeks is that she's doing that for 3 days with each prospect and then cold inviting. So she's forming them that way, and she's doing enough a day so that every time that she cold invites, that she's getting at least 20 to 50 invites a day. So she's just pen and papering it right now. And honestly, if you fill up a page, if you make a line down the middle and you do all your 531s here and all your 531s here, and you fill up one page with both sides every single day, that's plenty of invites. And then you continue to follow up with them. And the thing about it is that if you're 531ing them and you're DMing them and it's going to their other messages so they're not seeing it and they don't really use Instagram, you can be like, hey, on the third day that you've been interacting with them, like, hey, I sent you a message. I have a question for you. When you get a moment, check your other folder. And you could be doing that on wash, rinse, and repeat. Like, you could do that for an hour a day and start building your business and getting enough people. You can also go into Facebook groups. I joined this Facebook group that is about, it's like a bartender service industry group. It's for people in the service industry. I used to be a waitress for 10 years. That was like, so waitressing and Beachbody, college dropout, like that's my resume. And so I go in that group, and there's a lot of people in that group who are in the service industry who are now sober. And that's me. I was in the service industry and now I'm sober. So I go in there and we share horror stories of like our benders and how terrible it was. And so glad that we're like sober now. And then we have an instant connection, and I friend request them. And then I could 531 them on their Facebook and then send them a DM. So it's not that you guys don't have anybody to invite. It's just that you're not being creative enough with where you can find people. That's all. So it's going to be really important that if you want to find people, that you start to be creative with where you find these people. Are you updating your Instagram stories every single day and geotagging? Jatana Jackson has a great training in the Beachbody Champions page about Instagram stories. She geotags, and when you geotag, you get more eyes on your Instagram stories, and those are more people that you can invite. So are you inviting everybody who views your stories? Are you inviting everybody who likes your stories? You don't have a big following? Great. Are you going and finding people through hashtags, and are you building that following? These are just 2 examples. I'm sure there's many, 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 many more ways out there. And referrals, are you asking for referrals? So when somebody says no, are you like, okay, do you know anybody who would be interested? And asking them that. I used to do referrals a lot my first year. I'm rusty with that, but I used to. So I think it's just about like being like, where are the people? Not there is no people. It's you're asking the wrong question. You know what I'm saying? Like the quality of your business and the quality of your life is going to be based off the quality of the questions that you ask. So if you're asking questions like, I don't know where to find people, there's no people, you're going to get that kind of result. If you're asking, where do I find people and how do I find them? You're going to be a more solution-oriented question asker. So I think it's also something to look at is like, what are kind of questions are you asking? Like, where do I find people, or how do I find people, and where do I find people? Because they're there. There's billions of them on social media. So don't shoot yourself down with your questions. Instead, like, ask questions that can lead to a result. So, and ask yourself this on a daily basis. Am I really looking for people, or am I just like waiting for somebody to come to me? Like, because if you're really out there looking for people, like, I think of it as like fishing and like hunting. Like, it's like, are you really out there looking for these people, or are you just like kind of waiting for them to come to you and then kind of being like, well, it's not working, and then you quit? Because that could be self-sabotage. You could be in this pattern of self-sabotaging that maybe you're not aware of, that you need to get out of that pattern that you're in. And by doing that, it's going to be really like applying yourself and being like, okay, I'm going to go find people. I'm on social media. There are literally millions of people on social media. Where are they? I'm going to go find them.
Perfect. Amy, I know you've got to be tired, creating a human and all. I one more question for you, and then will you close this real fast, because you're asking my very probably introverted team to be very bold. and I want their last thoughts to be about what a change being a bold coach has done for you and Kevin, where you are now versus maybe before you decided to go out this unapologetically. So the question is, do you, or for your coaches, because I don't really think you have to do this so much, but for your coaches that you're helping them build this business, are you having them just do cold invites immediately, or is there a relationship building process first? I understand the 5-3-1, but is it like, hey, I would love to invite you to a sneak peek, or is there some sort of communication between the, hey, I found you on a hashtag, I have a sneak peek going. Is there something in between that, or are you very bold and direct in that process?
Well, I think it depends on the coach, because I am an introvert. And so a lot of my coaches are also introverts, but they want this more than they care about that, I think. And so I don't know. I have a belief system around forming. And I used to be a former, because as you know, Melissa, the whole company went through this forming phase, and it worked for a bit. But my feelings about forming now is that I am knowingly wasting somebody's time by building a relationship with them that isn't real. And I'm basically just wasting their time. So in my opinion, cold inviting is just getting to the point and helping them get to the solution faster instead of wasting their time and my time. I don't have time to sit around and form people. I don't know that you do. I mean, the numbers that you guys showed me, I don't know that that's working. So I guess the question is, like, if you do form first, is it working? Because if it's working, so the girl that I actually am talking about, she was a coach on another team a couple years ago, and that team really pushed her to cold invite, and she ended up not liking it. So this time around, she is doing the 5-3-1 for 3 days before cold inviting, and in her head, that's forming. That's enough forming for her. She said that she's able to build a relationship that way. And so I think that it's up to you. There are coaches on my team who do build relationship, but they don't do it longer than 3 days, and it's very quick. And there's some coaches who put a little script in the beginning where it's more of a personal touch, like, hey, I saw we're both teachers, and there's like a personal touch to the cold invite, and it's not just a copy paste. It's like they are taking time to look at the person's account, get to know them a little bit. There's a little bit of a personal story connection first, and then the invite. So it's not necessarily like, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl. Like, we don't do hey girls on my team. It's more of like let's be friends. We have this in common. Like Bree with her new little, mini golden doodle thing. She could go to somebody's page and be like, hey, I just got, the same kind of dog as you got, and I just wanted to shoot you an invite because I thought we could be friends, and I have this online business. And it's like, I know it feels really awkward even just coming out of my mouth. It sounds so weird, but it works. It works. So I think the question is to ask yourself, like, okay, so if you're forming, is it working for you? If not, then, maybe would you be willing to try something else and see if it's really not that scary after you get really good at it? And then do you want me to close it out? Okay. So, Kevin and I, so when I first started with Beachbody, I was a waitress and I was a full-time student. And so, that excuse that people have where they're like, oh, I don't have enough time, or, I'm busy, or all that stuff is just like, I don't really receive it, because in my first year, I was a full-time student. I was a full-time waitress. I was on my feet like 13 hours a day, still doing insanity, still learning how to meal prep, and I didn't have a smartphone. I only had a laptop computer or a desktop computer. I was actually telling a coach today that I used to keep my leads on a Google Doc spreadsheet because I would have to go log into my computer at school in order to work during my lunch breaks, because I didn't even have a smartphone. So like, you guys have these smartphones at your fingertips nowadays with Instagram and DMing and liking, and there's so much, it's so easy. And I had to like literally sign into Facebook and invite my friends list like over and over and over and over again. And you guys don't have to do that. There's so many people at your fingertips these days. Instagram did not exist when I became a coach. And it's just such an amazing tool. And you got so much at your fingertips. And I even interned 4 hours a week and had a puppy. Like, I was so busy. So I didn't build my business with more than 15, maybe hours a week my first year. And after 11 months, I was able to replace my income enough to quit my waitressing job and go full-time with Beachbody. And I dropped out of art school because I was in college for like 8 years before realizing that like I did not belong there. And I was an entrepreneur and that I needed to, I drank Shakeology right before this and I was like chugging it. That I needed to listen to myself and I needed to stop being in school because I realized through personal development that I was just really trying to like please my father and that it wasn't really for me. And when I decided to go all in with Beachbody, there's a lot of highs and lows in this business, and Kevin and I have been through a lot when it comes to like growing with the business and growing with each other. And it's been a very, I have to say that the only reason why I feel like I've been successful with this business is because of the amount of personal development that I've done to be successful with the business. And, I read early on that you were going to only be as successful as the hard work you do on yourself. And so I really made my personal development a priority and made becoming a better version of myself a priority. And then every single time that I invested in myself, my business grew and grew and grew and grew. So, and we lived in a 500 square foot little studio apartment in San Francisco. I couldn't afford to buy, regular food, never mind organic food. I remember I used to go into Whole Foods and like, I'd pick up like an organic peach and like look at it and like smell it and be like, oh, one day I'll be able to just come in here and buy a peach. Like I was so broke and $5 in my gas tank at a time, like just struggling, trying to make this thing work. But like, I knew that if other people could do this, I could do this. Like I saw other people doing this and I was like, they're not any more special than me. Like there's nothing special about them. Nothing. Like there's nothing that makes anything easier for them than it is for me. And I also had overcame alcoholism and I was like, if I can get sober, I can freaking do anything. So I was just like, I'm never giving up. There's nothing that quitting is not an option. I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to figure it out. And you guys, there's so like a top coach coming on another top coach's team call and sharing how they're successful. That didn't happen back then. Like people weren't sharing their information. Like it was kind of a mystery how people were in the top 10. It wasn't like people were so open. There was no Beachbody challenge page. There was no Keyshawn. There was like none of that going on. It was just like, you really had to like figure it out because there was really not a lot of training. And when scripts came, it was like this whole like revelation and like, it was just in challenge packs and challenge groups. It was like, oh my goodness. And we've had to learn and evolve as the company has evolved and gone digital and all this stuff. And basically, we went from that little 500 square foot studio apartment, barely able to afford to live. And now here we are, we bought a house this year. We've completely remodeled it. I never thought in a million years I'd want kids. And because of Beachbody, I've traveled the world and checked off every single bucket list thing I could ever imagine to the point where I'm like, I don't even want to travel anymore. I'm tired. Like when that's all I ever wanted to do was travel the world. And now I'm just like, I just want to like hang out. Like I'm just like bored with it. Like I went to France and I was like, not impressed. So I was like, I'm not into traveling that much right now. I just want to have a kid and just like chill and have chickens and like have a garden. Like I'm just, to be 33 years old and have checked off every single bucket list item and have my family like set financially and have all my debt paid off, in such a short amount of time. It's taken such a short amount of time to completely turn my life on its axis and completely change my entire life and change who I am and what I want out of my life as a person. The thought that I would never even have a family if it wasn't for Beachbody because I would be too afraid to bring somebody into the world with the financial situation that I had is crushing. And the fact that I that I saw that the Beachbody would give me options. And that's just what I want you guys to know, is that you need options. You never know when something's going to happen where you're going to lose your second stream of income. You're going to, lose somebody who is really important to you, or that you have to take care of somebody, or that sickness hits, or something happens and you need that financial support, and you need to have that option. Like, I see so often that things happen to people and they're not prepared. And so if you're not setting this thing up for yourself, even part-time, it's like you're just leaving your life up to chance, and you're just leaving things up to chance and just hoping that you won't be too screwed by the end of your life. My mom is a great example of a cautionary tale. She's in her 70s and she hates what she does. Sorry, teachers, but when you're in your 70s, you're going to freaking hate it. And because she has no money, she doesn't make very much money. She has to do it to pay her bills. This is really personal, but she is a functioning alcoholic. So like, I refuse to support her, because what do you do when you retire an alcoholic? They drink themselves to death. So I can't help her. She has to help herself. And so I see her life, and all she wants to do is travel, and all she has like this, she talks about all the things she wants to do, but she doesn't do anything. And she's never prepared herself for this. And she had her entire life to prepare herself for this time, and she didn't. And you guys, like, you have to look to people's lives that are older than you as cautionary tales of what could happen if you don't take care of yourself, and you don't take care of your financial situation and your health. And it's not pretty. And, you either have the option to repeat their history and repeat what people are doing around you, or you have the power to change your story and to change everything. And that's what I did. So I just want you guys to know that at the end of the day, whatever you want, you can have it. And I'm living proof of that. When I barely could get up for work and hold down a job, because I was such a in the gutter drug addict drunk. And now I'm like a self-made millionaire. Like, come on, you guys. Know that you can do whatever you want if you're willing to work for it. And asking you to invite people is not hard. And this is not hard work. The yardmen that work in my yard for hours a day to make ends meet for their family, that are, that's hard work. That is hard work for no money. And we're not asking you to do that. You're sitting at your computer in your cush little houses with your air conditioning and your heater and your nice clothes and your good food, and you're freaking typing on the keyboard. Put it into perspective and just get it done, okay?
Mic drop. Thank you, Amy. So your homework, as she said, well, the notes that I took is in order to grow this business, you need to recruit 4 more coaches a month, bare minimum. You need to follow up to 14 times. So don't give up on people so easily. And you've got some serious inviting to do this next week. And let's really fill up a sneak peek to honor Amy's time and to honor the fact that I'm going to do that for you. So thank you so much, Amy. I love you to pieces. I really appreciate that. Give Kevin hugs, and I will see you tomorrow. And you guys have a great night. Bye.